Hello and welcome to another random map game with me, Zach. Today I've got a 2 versus 2 on Arena, which is something that I know I don't cast that often, let alone in a 2v2 format. So hopefully this will be an interesting game. I haven't seen it already, so there's no promises on that, but it looked pretty cool. So we'll see who we've got. We've got some pretty good arena players in here, some arena giants. So yeah, down to the very west of the map, we do have rulers of Rome, Wacko. He's playing in blue as Byzantines. His teammate up to the very north of the map is POZ Eddie, playing in red as Persians. And they're kind of talking about their strategy in the top left there, but we'll kind of ignore that for now and just pretend like we don't know what's going to happen. Over to the very far east of the map, their opponents are rulers of Rome, Jon Snow, playing is Byzantines in green, and down to the very south of the map, Lords of Schools, playing in grey as Persians. So hopefully we're going to have an interesting game. I mean, it's pretty conclusive or pretty expected that these guys are all going to go for a fast castle here, and it looks like Gur having a bit of a hard time finding his fair sheep actually. No, he's not. He's just exploring to get some wood right here. And yeah, we're going to speed things up through the Dark Age and probably through the Feudal Age, because most of these guys are going to go up on 26 to 28 population and fast castle, and it's pretty obvious they're going to do that. Now, one thing that would make a little bit of a difference is where the deer placements are. Now, for Wacko, obviously, deer out on the front. He could delete a wall piece and lure them through with his scout. Some players like to do that, and they'll actually use their scout to do that rather than explore the map, because obviously in arena you can pretty much expect to know what the map looks like anyway. Other people are going to have deer in the back, like Gur here, which obviously means he's not got to delete a wall piece. He can actually use his scout to lure them in and not have to worry about patching his wall up afterwards. I've actually seen a Dark Age rush on arena before, and I think I made a video of that, where someone left their gate open and they ended up blocking it with something else and sent in a load of militia, did a rush and then trushed them. Pretty impressive stuff. It's Jon Snow, also with deer on the front then, and he's already deleted a wall piece and patched it up with a house, as I'm assuming his boar was on the front. His second boar at the back here, of course. And, of course, Eddie, let's have a look, deer inside of his walls, the best place they can be. So he's going to be able to take deer if he wants and lure them back towards his mill with his scout. And, of course, those deer are going to be important because they do help you in the fast castle. It means that, of course, you get that extra food from them without having to build so many farms, which is going to save you a little bit of wood. And, of course, it means that you'll be able to get the food in slightly faster. So if you do take the deer, you're obviously going to have a bit of an advantage. And as you can see, Wacko taking his deer right there by deleting that piece in the wall and using his scout to lure it back to his TC. So we're going to speed things up, as I said, and we'll see when these players are going up and what they're doing. I'll be interested to see how these guys play it. Of course, a very common strategy for arena is to go with the castle drop on the walls. So, you know, dropping a castle by the wall, breaking the castle or the wall down with the castle, and then using monks to get a lot of conversions, or even to flood knights in or anything like that. So it's very possible that we will see a castle drop out of one of these players. And certainly we will see monks as well, because players like to take the relics in the center, and of course they like to make monks in order to get lots of lovely conversions as well. So let's see if anyone is up to Feudal right now. Jon Snow going up on 27. Eddie going up on 26, a little bit sooner, and he's putting a barracks down as well. So could get very aggressive instantly with some... He's playing as Persians. He could make some knights, though saying that making knights is a little bit naive because of the amount of monks that the enemy team is likely to have. Knights, of course, get converted pretty easily. Making light cavalry from a stable could be good, or even going for ranged units, which can deal with monks more effectively. Gur is also up to Feudal on 28 this time, and Wacko going up on 29. Now, I did see in the chat, he said he was going to go for a sort of fast Imperial, and one thing that he does pretty often is does a castle drop and stays with 1 TC, puts a lot of pressure on with 1 TC, and then basically just 1 TCs it all the way, making huge amounts of units and just going all in a sense. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't pay off, then it can be pretty bad, because of course you've not really got any economy to fall back on, but it's a risk that you just have to take sometimes. So let's see, blacksmith and stable from Eddie. And of course he's playing as Persians, so a stable is a good choice. Obviously he will have bloodlines available to him. He'll also have all of the blacksmith upgrades in there, and he can make camels as well as knights if he so desires. Wacko saying knights in the chat, so maybe he's asking Eddie to go for knights. We'll see. Blacksmith and market for Jon Snow and Gur, both of them doing a very, very typical fast castle right here. And we'll see who actually clicks up first. It looks like it could be Jon Snow clicking up first, though he's actually lacking a little bit of food at the moment. Could even be Eddie who clicks up first in the end. It is Eddie with a very nice castle time there. I'd say due to the fact that he did have these 4 deer, that allowed him to get that food in very quickly indeed. And as you can see, Gur only just luring his last deer back, having to travel a long way with these villagers. So Eddie is certainly a little bit further ahead there. You can see in his score already that he is further ahead, as he's already clicked up the castle and he is the score leader. Now, of course, he'll send some more villagers over to wood, as he will need to seed some more farms depending on his strategy. But it seems like at the moment not making or taking any stone. So their strategy, from what I saw in the chat and from what they are doing, is that Wacko is going to go with a castle drop, and Eddie could come in behind the castle drop and spam knights. They double someone. Could work out pretty well, depending on, of course, if the other team decides to do a castle drop somewhere else. We'll see if anyone's taking any stone. Jon Snow not taking anything. Gur not taking anything either. So Wacko is going to be doing the castle drop here, and Eddie is probably going to be following up with something in as well. Let's see. It looks like he's actually making some light cavalry here, or scouts. So he'll upgrade those to light cavalry, and these are the ultimate way to counter monks, really. If you're expecting your opponent to make monks, then making light cavalry is a good idea. They can obviously close the gap to the monks very quickly, and they only cost food, so if the monk converts it, it's not such a huge loss. A monastery going up for Eddie there, as he's first up to castle. He should be able to secure himself a couple of relics. Camel coming out as well, and now, I don't know if he's just using these, yeah, these scouts literally just to scout right now. He might not upgrade them to light cavalry unless Jon Snow or Gur makes a lot of monks, but he can use them to scout out for the relics and to protect his monks as well, as they do collect them up. He's going to be able to secure these two, I think, as Jon Snow isn't up to castle just yet. He's about to hit castle. By the time he's got his monastery up, it's likely that Eddie will be able to secure both these monks in both these relics in that time. Wow, double teaming on Wacko's scout right there. Jon Snow just hitting castle right now. Wacko about to hit castle as well. And he's almost got that 650 stone that he needs to get that castle down. Gur also up to castle straight away. Monastery going down on the front for him, as well as a second TC on the back. So no super aggression from them. And Eddie is still on 1 TC as well. Jon Snow putting down 2 TCs right here. So it looks like Eddie and Wacko are going to play this super aggressively, securing the monks, actively pursuing that. The relics even, why do I keep calling relics monks? Actively pursuing the relics, and with a castle drop as well for good measure, whilst Gur and Jon Snow just boom. So this is going to be two very, very different styles of play right here, and we'll see which one sort of wins out in the long run. Wacko just about to get up to 650 stone right now, and then they're going to drop a castle either on Gur or Jon Snow. Hard to say which one at the moment, as obviously he's not placed the castle. But judging by the fact that Wacko is so close to Gur, perhaps we'll see the castle drop here or here, for instance. If he stops him from taking stone, that could be nice. Of course, there's probably going to be stone in the back anyway, but it could be useful to him, or even over the gold here. So, Gur making a monk right now, and as you can see, Eddie's already got these scouts out. So if Gur does actually come out with this monk, then he could end up getting killed off by the scout right here. Doesn't look like Eddie's actually knows. Yes, he has. He's on the ball, and this monk are likely to die. There we go. Not converted at all, and that, of course, now means that Eddie first knows that Grey is doing monks, as he said in there, and that he's going to be able to secure these 2 relics on the front as well for good measure. So map control really going for Eddie and Wacko at the moment. Eddie already with 2 relics secured. Wacko looks like he's about to go and secure one of his own as well, making some spearmen, because of course the counter to monks is going to be scouts. Adding in some spearmen can kill the scouts very quickly, protect your monk. Works out very well. These guys, I don't know if they've scouted this relic over here. Wacko's very nearly scouted it. Jon Snow, sorry, not looking for Jon Snow, looking for Eddie here. Eddie has scouted it. He's scouted the entire center area of the map, so they know of the final relic as well. And meanwhile, Jon Snow and Gert just booming up in their bases. Now let's see when this castle drop is going to come in. Kind of waiting to see that right now. Wacko with 780 stone. Waiting to see where he's going to drop that castle down. But these guys, Eddie and Wacko, really in very good communication right here from what I can see so far. They've got a very good idea of what their opponents are doing. They both know that they are booming. Big boom, as Eddie says right there. And they are right. I mean, they are both booming. No military at all so far, which of course is going to give them a huge advantage. Wacko now, castle going down. Lots of villagers coming forwards. So we're going to see a lot of very, very high aggression right here. Gert doesn't have anything to defend with at the moment. More monks could come out, of course. But is that going to be enough? Probably not. If he just makes a couple more monks, he's not going to be able to deal with this. So he needs to do something. That thing needs to be some siege, I believe. If he makes some mangonels, then he can deal with spearmen pretty quickly. And of course, then making some scouts / light cavalry to kill the monks. At this stage, Gert and Jon Snow taking the score lead, but of course that's purely down to eco. They've got a huge economy right here. And maybe once they reach Imperial, or once their ecos get big enough, they're going to bust out their walls and deal with Eddie and Wacko. So Eddie and Wacko very much on a timer right now. They are going to have to move quickly and effectively. Eddie has got 2 TCs up, but Wacko is still only on the 1 for now. Going to stay very, very high aggression and go with a fast Imperial. He's almost up to the 1,000 food that he needs, and this is a very sort of signature move by him. 1 TC, fast Imperial, and it works out a lot. You'd be surprised. Castle going up there, providing him some extra population room as well, and he's just clicked with him. There we have it. 22 minutes, 23 minutes, fast Imperial with castle going down as well. Of course, actually, I take that back. He didn't need 1,000 food. Of course, he's playing as Byzantines, which means that the Imperial upgrade is cheaper. So he didn't actually need the 1,000 food and 800 gold there. He needed less. But even so, that was a very, very good Imperial time. And, of course, Eddie now, with the scouting information, he can easily say, hey, Jon Snow, Terra, he's going to go up in a minute's time, because we can see here he's putting a university down, and he's got a siege workshop here. So he's right. He is about to go up. He just needs 1,000 food, and he will get that very quickly, just judging from how many farms he's got. Once they're up to Imperial, though, Terra, Jon Snow, and Gert going to have to do something very, very quickly to deal with this. Now, Wacko outside, breaking down these castle walls. He doesn't have so much to follow it up with. He could be making cataphracts, though they are a very expensive unit to make. So no cataphracts coming out at the moment. And Wacko adding in a second TC. But his eco management is amazing. He's really, really good at eco management here. And it works out very well. So Eddie's saying that Jon Snow is up. He is up indeed. Eddie also going up as well. So 3 of them up to Imp. Now Gert, under so much pressure. Let's see if he's going to panic. He's actually still in castle. Throwing down 4 stables, 2 archery ranges, and a barracks. He is going to have to be forced to defend very, very quickly. Getting these military production buildings down as quickly as he could. Making knights to counter this. And now let's see. Wacko's, of course, got pikemen out right now. He's got 4 monks behind it as well. So if he micros these monks well, can get 4 conversions on knights. Coupled with the pikemen could be very good. And also he could convert buildings as well if he comes in here and starts using his Wololo powers to do that. The thing is now, of course, Eddie does have a lot of relics. He's got 3 relics in there. Wacko has 1. Where's the 4th, the last relic? Did someone else secure that? I'm not sure. There should be 5. But, yeah, there we go. Gur managed to get 1 as well. So even so, 4 relics secured for Eddie and Wacko compared to Gur's 1 and Jon Snow's 0. But a lot of pressure about to come in as Jon Snow's up to Imp right now, as is Eddie as well. So we're going to see a pretty big battle up here in the north, I think. Looks like Jon Snow getting ready with a lot of siege right there to put a lot of pressure on. And now just waiting to see what Wacko does here. He's going to hit Imp. There we go. First one to go up as well. Sticking on the 1 TC. The 2 TC, second TC is up, of course. Now let's see what he's going to do. Trebuchet straight out. He did not mess around. Actually, it was Wacko before, then Eddie, sorry. Wacko's been up for some time now. Of course, Trebuchet coming out. And Gur under a lot of pressure. He's got to respond to this somehow. At the moment, he's making skirms, which isn't such a bad choice. They are ranged, of course, which does mean that they can try and take out these monks. But these monks, 12 range. That's as much as a bombard cannon. That's a lot of range. So monks, of course, going to be able to outrange pretty much everything that Gur is going to be able to throw out right now. And he is under a lot of pressure to do something here. Wacko can just sit in the defense of his castle and wait and see what Gur does, because Gur is not up to Imp yet. And he's made a lot of military back here. So he's trying to just get as much military up as he can, make a very quick push out and deal with Wacko as fast as he possibly can. Wacko putting down a siege workshop makes a lot of sense, and Mangonel here would absolutely destroy these skirmishes. Skirmishes do have an attack bonus against pikemen, so they are going to be reasonably good in this situation. And knights coming in as well, so this could be the end for Wacko here. This could be very bad indeed. There's a lot of knights right there, and a lot of skirms as well. The knights with +1 defense. Let's see if Wacko can actually defend against this. Of course, Gur is not going to be able to take out this castle at this rate. Wacko is quite happily to sit in there with his monks at the back, try and get a conversion. There's 1 knight done. And now the Mangonel as well, securing this hole in the wall with a house, and pretty nice stuff right there. Meanwhile, Jon Snow up at the north, actually doing a really good job fighting Eddie up here. Eddie had a lot of warning about this. He was the one providing the intel, but Jon Snow with capped rams up straight away, trying to take down this castle from Eddie, and that castle will go down at this rate pretty quickly. But with the Mangonel behind, he could flatten some of these rams fairly effectively. Let's see if he can do it. A lot of pressure coming in from Jon Snow, making a lot of archery ranges here as well. He's playing as Byzantines, so Arbalest a good choice. That castle down, and Eddie really doesn't have so much behind this, making some hand cannoneer. Good choice, as that's of course going to allow him to deal with the halberdier a little bit easier. And, well, the capped ram is still going to be a bit of an issue. There's a lot of them. Meanwhile, Wacko still pushing in over at Gur's base. Gur still in the castle age right now. A little bit of an imbalanced economy with 1,600 wood in the bank. That is a lot of wood just sort of sitting around. Gur gonna come in though, try and focus down on the Mangonel. Mangonel's gonna get a couple of nice shots, I believe, but maybe not another one. Yeah, it's gonna get 2 shots off, but really not doing that much damage. Gur, of course, using the wide formation on his skirms right there. There's a lot of monks from Wacko here. Now he's trying to get the conversions on the knights, because if he can convert these knights, then he can kill the skirmishers very easily indeed. 2 knights being converted already by the looks of things. And if he can get a 3rd, then he's going to be in a really nice position. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job here, but Gur should be able to repel this. He has a lot more military out at the moment. Wacko trying to take down this TC. Looks like he's going to be successful. 1 more hit and that will go down. But yeah, there we go. He's going to get that off. That TC is going to go down. Gur under a lot of pressure here, but he's still ahead economically, I believe. Wacko's still only on 2 TCs, trying to keep the pressure up as much as he possibly can. Monk's managing to get more conversions on the knights, and this is costing Gur quite a lot. losing a lot of skirms there as well to the Mangonel, absolutely flattening them. So not bad play by Wacko at all, and he could still turn this around, even though, you know, his score is very far behind here. Siege Rams coming in for Jon Snow, and we can see archers and hand cannoneer from Eddie, but good choice from Jon Snow here, making the elite skirmishers, of course, to counter the hand cannoneer from Eddie right there. Hand cannoneer do pierce damage, so skirmishers do work very well to defend against that or attack that. But Jon Snow not really making so much progress into Eddie's base. Eddie's, yeah, looking not so great. I mean, he might lose this TC right here in any moment now. He's already lost his castle on the front, and I think he's relying very much here on Wacko being able to take out Gur, and at the moment, he's doing such a good job. Gur still only on 2 TCs. He's not going to be clicking up to Imp, but he can now literally just click up this moment. If he clicks up to Imp, though, it could be slightly risky. He's just done it. Now, of course, he's got to make enough military here to defend Wacko off. But Wacko going to come in with more monks. He's got a lot of faith on them, so he can convert more knights. The thing is now, obviously, good. It's going to be a while before he gets up to Imp. He has no castle, so he can't make Trebs to counter this. And of course, now he's in a very tough position. Jon Snow really doing good work on Eddie's base up in the north, though, and oh wow, okay, Eddie just resigns right there. The pressure from Jon Snow was too much, and he, yeah, Wacko resigns as well, damn. You know, I thought Wacko was actually going to have Gur there. In a 1v1, maybe Wacko would have actually pushed through. Of course, Gur clicking up to Imp right now, but would it have been too late? Would Wacko been able to push through? But either way, very nice play by Jon Snow. Terra doing a really good job there. We didn't see so much action because we were focusing more on what Wacko was doing down here, but obviously starting off making a lot of siege rams, well, capped rams initially, taking out that castle from Eddie, and Eddie just didn't really have much behind it to defend. I mean, he was making some hand cannoneer, which was a good choice, but then Jon Snow switched to skirmisher and cut through them pretty quickly, and there wasn't really a lot Eddie could do in that position aside from knights. And now if he'd have gone for knights, that would have been a really good choice for him. They would have got converted easily, but Jon Snow had no monks, and they would have actually destroyed this army very quickly indeed. Skirmishers and of course siege rams go down very quickly to knights, so I think that would have been a very good choice for him had Jon Snow not led in with pikemen. So yeah, tough one, but Jon Snow played that very well in the north, and I think that's really what won them the game, because it was quite stalemated down here, and you know, Wacko may have been able to push through and finished off Gur had they continued much longer. So anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. As usual, I've been Zach, and I will see you next time.